Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the special spawn that just came out with Mortal Sin of Revere. I can't even say that, I'm sorry. I know somebody's gonna pronounce that for me in the comments below. But anyways, going on from there, we got Love or Hate, the move, and this right here is a cost killer. I don't think this is all about love. I think this is all about hate, because you're gonna hate this ability, and at least in player versus player, which would probably be the only reason you would even want to grab the monster in the first place. But let's talk about it first. Okay, so it has the increased activation priority like all the Mortal Sins do, so that's pretty much going to go down for that. It reduces the cost of all enemies by 20, and the cost reduction effect gets boosted by 5 for each increase in skill level, so that means it could go up to a maximum of 40 of their cost reduced, not 20 but 40. They can lose 40 cost, and on top of it, hold on, we're not done yet. We got the reduced action speed of enemies that are non-players, obviously, and then we got the cost recovery speed reduced of all enemies by 10 for 60 seconds. So on top of losing 40 costs, you're also getting your cost recovery speed reduced, and this right here is a deadly formula. It's I wouldn't say super OP, it's definitely not, but definitely player versus player, this could be either useful or pretty useful depending on the situation. In Coliseum though, keep in mind, like, if somebody dies, they're going to keep recovering cost, but overall, if you could use this in the right scenario, this monster can be super freaking helpful, and let me tell you, you can really take the team back. Without cost, it's going to be hard for them to get Unison up, because the only ways you can really get Unison is like the attacks that have the exclusive, and there's not a lot of them. Most of them actually are on the soldier, and then the second way you can get Unison is the cost, and if you take away the cost, pretty much the cost allows them to attack it. If you take away the attacks, it's going to be really hard for them to build Unison, and hence even do damage to the crystal. Like, if you do this right before crystal assault, like if a whole team decides to, you know, like use their Unison, like 5 Unisons, you pop this monster right here, it's gonna be hard for them to get their cost back up unless they have multiple cost recovery monsters. Like, if they don't use any cost recovery monsters, this right here will straight up screw them over. Imagine using 2 of these on the enemy team right before they head to crystal assault. They wouldn't be doing damage, bro. It can be really deadly depending on the scenario you use it on. Seriously, it's a pretty dang good monster for what it doesn't look like, but it really is. It's like one of those things where you would walk up to it and you're just like, oh, this is pretty nice, pretty cute, it looks friendly, and then it turns to some giant huge monster. It's just like nom nom nom. So yeah, this monster is actually, it doesn't look like it to me. At least it didn't look like it to me, so it is pretty dang OP. Alright, so for this step up spawn, it looks like they're going back to 32 cost, but they're doing this with a different reward pool besides your good old fashioned girl here that always loves to appear in every spawn and greet everybody, Gremory. She's always here to say hi to you guys, just in case you're wondering if the rates are going to be low or high. For monsters that might be 33 cost or not, she's just here to get in the way, and just, you know, she wants all the attention. So Gremory's actually going to be back in here. I personally need a Gremory that's Archer stats. Well, I wouldn't need one, I would love to have one, so I personally don't mind this myself. I know a lot of you are looking at this and you're like, ugh, Gremory, seriously? Why is Gremory in here? But yeah, they switched down the reward pool, so as long as it's Gremory and Bastard, I would actually think about doing this, because I honestly hate Bastards with passion. I really do. Like, Bastard shouldn't be a part of the spawn at all. Anyways, going on from there, I do like how they switched it. I'm not sure if this is going to be permanent or not. If it's going to be permanent, this might be a pain. I probably want this to happen a couple times, at least for me, because I would love to have a Gremory Archer stats. I would love to have an Armo for once in my life. Armo's one of my favorite monsters. The funny thing about Sphinx is I was actually scrolling through this and I noticed Sphinx right here, right? You see its moves? It literally is the better version of both Cleopatra and that dinosaur like dragon like small monster Dora. Remember the one in the box spawn? Literally better than that. You can see right here what it does. It's so funny. I looked at it and then I facepalm and I'm like, wow, if I knew Sphinx was actually better than Dora, I would have just told you go for Sphinx. But yeah, Sphinx, besides the cost, pretty much talking about the stats and the Unison score when you use them, Sphinx is actually better than Dora ability wise, so that's pretty dang funny. But yeah, they're going back to some of their 33 cost. You can see right here they added Sphinx, they added Galileo, and they added a chance to get Odin. I think a lot of people that didn't get Odin really wanted Odin. Odin's still extremely OP. There removes Resurrection, War, other damage nullifying effects. The damage it does, that gets increased by 10 for each increase in skill level. It paralyzes, so pretty much if Odin goes off, if you don't have any paralyzed resistance or anything, it's like guaranteed to hit you with the paralyzation. And guess how many procs of it you have on? Not procs, but guess how many you would have on stacked? You'd have 3 paralyzation stacked, so it's going to be intensely difficult to actually be able to do any types of moves. So Odin's still extremely OP. Odin's more around player versus player base. You can still use it with player versus enemy thanks to his damage that he does. The damage he does is more around player versus enemy, and then he's got Hero. As you can see what Hero does here. Hero is OP. Seriously, Hero is really nasty. Skill is the best buff in the game. Not skill, but buff. He is the best buff in the game. And then they have, I think everything else is pretty much the same. Yeah, except for Neal. They have Neal, they have Titania, they have the Andromeda Sexy Doctor. They switched around some of the 35 costs, and then they got your favorite and featured monster in here, Mortal Sin Envy Revere. So that's pretty much how this step up is going to go down. It looks like they're going to switch the reward pool every now and then. So all those monsters that are going to be hard to obtain and they're never going to come out with treasure spawns again because they're not worth it whatsoever, they're adding in the step up spawn. So it looks like every now and then, it looks like they might be adding a new reward pool. So if you're still just like, if you're interested in the 33 cost plus, keep waiting. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you really like looking for like the 33s, 34s, and 35s. You could do the other one because that one's guaranteed to have 33s and above. Will it come back to the next step up spawn? I'm not sure, but I can tell you it will come back eventually. I'm not going to say it's going to be a long time. I'm not going to say it's going to be soon. It's definitely not going to be a super long time, but it may or may not be super soon. So if you want 33 cost or higher, just wait on those step up spawns and don't worry about these ones. If you're worried about getting more Gremories or any 32 cost that looks unfortunate, but also keep in mind they have exclusive monsters for this reward pool like Sphinx or Odin. So if you're interested in those, you might want to give this a shot. I can tell you right now, the rates for the 33s, 34s, and 35 costs are definitely not dead. Some of you may even able to obtain it in your first try, second try. By third try, you should definitely have a 33 or 34 or 35 cost, unless you're extremely unlucky. But yeah, these rates are actually pretty free to play, player friendly. So they're friendly for anybody, and they're fun for the whole family. So. And it's a 46 gem step up spawn. So in your second rates, you actually get 8% on the SSR for the monsters, not just the gear but the monsters themselves. So you have a pretty good chance to actually get a monster in the second step up spawn that is featured on top of it. So this is really good spawn. I definitely look at it and see if it would fit you. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for watching. I hope this helped out, and I will see you in the next video. This is the AzureWrath. I'm out. Peace.